Hello, seventh grade. It is Tuesday, April 28th, and we are talking about lesson 107 today, the slope of a line. So we know about slope. We live in East Tennessee. We drive up and down hills. Some hills are steeper than others, and so it has a greater slope. Then some have a greater slope than others. If you've ever gone snow skiing, you know that there are the green bunny hills, and then you've got the blue intermediate hills, and the black and black diamond, the steep hills. So there's slope also. So the slope of a line is kind of the same thing. The slope indicates how steep a line is. And we also talk about what direction the line is rising or falling. So let's look at this top chart here, and let's look at what does a line with a positive slope look like. A line with a positive slope is going to be a line, if you look at it from left to right, it is rising. It is rising from left to right. A line with a negative slope is falling from left to right. A line with a slope of 0 is always a horizontal line, okay? 0 slope, horizontal line. And then a slope that is vertical, that goes straight up, a line, that is vertical, straight up and down, is called an undefined slope. We don't have any numerical value for it whatsoever. We call it undefined. And don't worry about that right now. You'll learn about that more when you take Algebra 1, but for right now, if you're asked to find the slope of a vertical line, it is just undefined. We cannot give it a defined number. Now, let's go and look at this middle chart here, and we notice that this is a positive slope. The line is rising from the left to the right. Now, let me give you the definition of how we calculate slope. First of all, slope, we use a little m to indicate slope, and so it's going to be a fraction of the rise in a line over the run, and I'll explain that in just a minute. Now, slope can be an integer. You could have a slope equal to 2 or -3. It could be a fraction, say 1/3 or -2/7. It could also be an improper fraction, say 5/4 or -9/2. What slope is never? It is never a mixed number. So you would never say the slope is 2.5. You would say it's 5/2. Okay, so no mixed number slopes. Now let's go ahead and talk about what is this rise over run. Well, what you do is you pick 2 points on your line that 2 points that are on your line, okay? So they have picked these 2 black points. And then what you're going to do is I always start at the lower point, okay? And I rise up. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rise straight up vertically until I get in line with the second point, and then I run to the right or to the left, depending on which way I have to run to get to the second point. So let's go back. The rise, I was going up 4 units, and then for the run, I'm going to the right 3 units. And so these 2 numbers tell me the slope. And my slope of this line, m, is going to equal 4/3. Remember, it's never going to be a mixed number. It's 4/3. Now, notice that this line is rising to the right, so it does have a positive slope, and we got a positive answer there. Now, let's try the next one. Now, this here, they actually should have had arrows to show that this is a line, but that's okay. Let's start at the lower point, and we're going to rise. So let's rise up, and we'll count those units in just a second. And now I'm in line with the second point, and so now I'm going to make a run horizontally to the left. Oh, well, this time I'm running to the left. Last time I ran 3 units to the right. So let's count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My rise is 7. I'm going to go ahead and put m equals. My rise is 7. Let's find out about our run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm running 9, but I'm running to the left. When you run to the left, your run is defined to be negative. So I'm going to put a -9 down below, okay? So when I run to the left, that is a negative run. Notice up above, we ran to the right. We ran to the right. That was a positive run. Now, let's go ahead and fix this. We have the negative sign in the denominator. We want to put it to the left of the fraction bar. 7 divided by -9 is -9/7, and I have a slope of -9/7. Okay, now remember this line was falling to the right, so it did have a negative slope, and that matches our answer. I want to show you also in this first graph here that you can start with the top point and you can run down. I can run down and then run to the left here. If I run down, I'm going to be going in the negative direction, down 4, and then I ran -3. Excuse me. Well, that is a slope of -4 over -3. That still gives me a negative divided by negative. I still get a slope of +4/3. I will tell you, I always like to start with the lower point and always rise in a positive direction. But you can start at the top point and go down. But I recommend starting at the bottom and going up when you can. Okay, now that is done there. Let's go ahead and let's see what I can do here. I have something else on this page to show you. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. Now, we're just going to, let me tap on that. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and just look at a couple more lines. Let's look at 3 and 4. Let's go ahead and look at number 3 and number 4. Okay, so I got my pencil ready to go. Let's look at number 3 and let's calculate the slope. Okay, now first of all, I see that that line is rising to the right, so my answer should be positive. Let's start at the lower point, and we're going to run up and then to the right. Okay, now I went up 1 unit was my rise, and my run was to the right 2 units. Now remember, slope is rise over run. Okay, I always tell my kids in class, if we have to go to a fire alarm drill, you have to rise out of your desk before you can run out of the room. So you have to rise before you run. So the rise is written on the first on the top. So I have 1 over 2. And my slope is simply 1/2. Okay. I tell you what, let's go over to number 4. Let's look over here at number 4. All righty. Now this is a line that is falling from left to right. So this should have a negative slope. Let's make sure we get that. Okay, now I'm going to start on the bottom point and I'm going to rise up until I get in line with the second higher point, and then I'm going to run to the left to get there. Now let's rise up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, and we're going to run 1, 2, 3, 4 units over, but we're running to the left, and so it's negative. Remember, your grid, the negative numbers go to the left also of the origin. So think of going to the left as a negative move, -4. So let's go ahead and calculate the slope here. The rise is 5, the run is -4, and so it's -5/4 is my slope, -5/4. Okay, 5 divided by -4 is a negative fraction. Now, let's go ahead and go and look at today's homework problem. There's only one. It's number 23. It's number 23. Okay, so here we go. We are going to find the slope of the graph line. Now, you'll notice there's no points here. There's no points here. And they didn't even put a, oh, hold on, come back to me. All right, let me start my pen there. All right, really we should have a line here. Okay, Now, we get to pick the points. We get to pick the points. I'm going to pick the origin. And then do you notice that it goes to the point 1, 2 there? It goes to the point 1, 2. Now, you're not writing in your book, obviously. You're writing, okay, why is that not showing up? I wrote m equals. Come on, show up. Uh-oh. M equals. There it comes. It's coming. There it is. Delay. All right. M equals my rise over my run. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and figure out what that is. All right, let's start at the lower point, and we're going to rise until we get on the level with the upper point, and then we're going to run. Now, we went up 2 units. We went to the right 1 unit. So my rise goes in my numerator. It's a 2, and the denominator is a 1. So I'm going to write my final answer is m equals 2, and my slope is 2. All right. Now, you are wondering, what are the omissions for lesson 107? Well, let me tell you what they're going to be. I'm going to write them right here as if they were on the textbook. We are going to omit number 4, 6, 7, 8, 14, 16, 17, and 22. 4, 6, 7, 8, 14, 16, 17, and 22 for lesson 107. Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow. I have 3 short Khan Academy lessons for you to do. All 3 of them are 4 problems each. So I'll have those. They'll be taken as quiz grades, and they are due at midnight on Friday. So don't forget to do those. I only have 1 set that's due on Friday for the whole week. Okay. Well, we will see you at Zoom today, or I will be back to teach you again tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.